Hello and welcome to Bloke on the Range. Now, we haven't done a state of the channel video for a while, so here's one right now. I'm taking a walk in the woods. I thought this would be an appropriate moment to get out the selfie stick and do it. So it is the 21st of June 2019. We've been going for 3 and a bit years, got about 78,000 subscribers. Recently the number of views has just gone like so many other channels. If people have seen on, for instance, on In Range's Facebook, they put up a post about that. Something has happened in the algorithm. Well, I mean, look on the bright side, it keeps the dumb comments down. So, first of all, obligatory thanks first of all to patrons for helping to fund this endeavour. Thanks very much for the chap for all his work on his videos and his pre-editing, which is a massive time saver for me. That's great. Thank you very much to Stutshots and Toon, particularly Buddy and Demo, for all their help and use of the range and filming rights and so on. That's excellent. And thank you, Stephen, for Sion. Now, oh yes, viewers, thank you all for watching. So, right, well, since we went on to Patreon, we have been managing to produce a video a week ever since. Let's just say this is not necessarily an easy endeavour. Someone asked me couple of weeks ago, let's call him Peter because that's his name. He asked me if I was sort of working 50% on the on my day job and 50% on the channel, and I said, well, actually, I'm working about 130% on the day job and about 50% on the channel. It was an exaggeration. The channel's only at 20 to 30% on the basis of a 40-hour week, but yes, it's quite tough going at times. I thought I'd sort of share how we work it at the moment. As a result, now we've got a nice huge filming backlog from the Sion sessions. My oldest backlog footage, I think, is I think I've still got one thing that needed a bit of tabletop to finish up from Italy 2017, just never quite got around to doing that one. Anyway, still got a couple of bits from the Seaforth Highlanders of Canada Museum. Really need to do something with them because that's starting to be a little dated. Yeah, we sort of run last in, first out, particularly if it's something that people have been bugging us to do or that we've been really excited about doing, such as the Tika. Oh, that's back, by the way. They replaced the sights entirely, and the new sights are overall better. They seem to be a second generation. Someone had mentioned in the comments or in a personal message on Facebook that there've been some requests by the Canadian Rangers for updates on the sights. The front sight is better. The rear sight is not, although it has less wobble in the drum. Quick note to people: the wobble was not the side adjustment; it was the drum. Anyway, back from that little tangent there. So we sort of use the backlog of footage, mostly from Sion, to fill in when we don't have anything more or less fresh. The chap pre-edits his stuff, so his stuff gets in the rotor pretty quickly because it's really quite easy for me to put together comparatively. Editing, by the way, for those who've not done it, is a complete pain in the bum, Your Majesty, he said, and she smiled quietly to herself. It's really awful. That's what takes up a lot of the time, is just putting this together. I mean, I try and avoid absolute epics, but yeah, I mean, the production quality on the channel is meh. It's not superb. We just don't have the time, and I don't have the energy or the skill. It's just one of those things. We try and sort of maximize the quality of the output for the time of the input, but I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a professional at this. This is a hobby. I try and keep 3 to 4 weeks worth of footage uploaded and ready, so that if for any time, because I've got the day job, I've got the family, I've got this, I've got other stuff, if I have no time on a weekend to edit something, then I've got a bit of a buffer, and when I'm in the zone I try and put several up in short order so I can try and keep ahead with that. So that's basically the state of it. What have we got coming up? Well, thanks to Patreon monies, thank you very much, and we're not on anywhere else at the moment. Patreon has calmed itself down, thankfully. Next month, July 2019, we're going over to film for 3 days in the UK to do some stuff over there that we can't do here with Neil from the Worksworth Gun Room. So that is going to be excellent. Bit of fancy dress. That should be excellent fun. Saturday, the 20th of July, I will be at Bisley in the afternoon. We've got a 20-year reunion for the British Cadet Rifle Team, which I was on in 1999. When I found that out, I had to extend the stay in the UK by a day for that, so that should be nice. So we'll probably try and arrange a meetup. I'll try and be somewhere like under the clock tower carrying a bunch of roses and a rolled up copy of the Times or something. You'll know what I look like even without the beard. Yes, we shall try and arrange a meetup for people who are there. We've got a barbecue in the evening and I'm staying over at Bisley, so that should be fun and catch up with the people from 20 years back. In August, I'm going to finish Brutality. I'm really looking forward to that. And this Soy Boy 11 stone frame needs to put on a bit of muscle to do some of that. So I'm lifting things. It's all very uncouth for a desk jockey like myself. But yes, I'm hoping not to embarrass myself totally on the physical side of that. What else have we got coming up in November? Of course, you will have seen that we have the first Bloke on the Range Bolt Action Challenge, organised with Buddy and Emo of Stadschutz and Thun, and we're really looking forward to that. That should be brilliant. And then for next year, we've already got a project in the early stages of planning. We shall be putting out a few little teasers at various points, repurposing some old footage. We shall hope that one comes off and is as awesome as we hope it will be. Oh, and I almost forgot, another super secret project in the autumn, but one of the guns steadfastly refuses to run at the moment. So what else? Brought forward various guns that are going to be affected by the new law. It's mostly to save money on permits, but once the Verordnung, what's that in English? Once the implementing rules are finally finalised and published, and how it's going to work in reality is all officially well known, I will do a video on that. I'm planning on doing a collab with a Swiss lady from Kessler Aktionen in the east. So once that's all sorted, I will arrange to go and film with her. She's a gunsmith, so is rather impacted by it. But last news is that it's coming into force on the 15th of August, and as long as you're actually a sports shooter or shoot regularly, it's not practically going to be a massive change. It's going to be a bit more of a pain, but not massively so. It really seems that the police, the government have done a really minimalist implementation of this to save everyone time, effort and money. So it's not going to be too bad. It's just what happens when the EU comes knocking again in a few years' time. That will be less fun, I'm sure. Also thinking of getting an accelerometer, of all things. Discovered that there's some pretty good industrial data logging accelerometers around the place, and nobody's really done anything like that. There's some academic papers written on it that I saw years and years and years ago, but I don't think anyone has stuck a data logging 20 kilohertz accelerometer on various rifle barrels and measured in great detail exactly what's going on. So I'm hoping that will be a nice source of interesting research, particularly if we can quantify what's going on. For instance, how much? Well, a lot of recoil is physical, and some of it is perception, some of it is ergonomics, and the idea is we can hopefully quantify a bit of that, and the perception of whether a semi-auto is recoils less hard or harder, some people say, than bolt actions. We can actually start to generate some decent data on that. That's what I'm looking forward to, and also a slow motion camera to go with it. With all these trips and things in the offing, the Bloke on the Range budget hovers around 0 at the moment. Got to let that build back up and then decide whether I buy the accelerometer first or the slow motion camera first. And part of me says there's no point in having the accelerometer if I haven't got the slow motion camera, because I could tie the two up, synchronize the data and so on, and that would be great. But on the other hand, if I were to buy just the slow motion camera, there's only limited things I can do with that, and there's plenty of slow motion footage out there. There's no really sort of unique selling point there. But even if I'm just showing graphs from an accelerometer, that's going to be potentially interesting, and then I can build in later slow-mo footage when I've got that, which would be nice. But that's what I'm thinking would be kind of cool. Well, I managed to get this far without bitching too much about my day-to-day workload in my day job and how it impacts the channel. So there you go. Thank you very much for supporting the channel in whichever way you do, whether it is supporting us on Patreon or whether it is just watching and liking and subscribing and clicking and what have you, driving that algorithm that's decided that gun channels are bad again. And yeah, if you haven't supported us on Patreon, please consider doing so. It's very useful. It enables us to buy cool stuff and show it to you and use it, and hopefully generate some relatively new and interesting research. And see you again sometime. Bye.